The marble glimmers faintly in the candlelight, its surface cool and smooth, sealing away what the Empire believes to be a corpse. But somewhere within that heavy stone box, legend says, a sound begins. A weak, desperate knocking. The voice of a man thought dead, calling out through layers of gold, silk, and darkness. Guards freeze. They hear the whisper. A plea, trembling and hollow. Have pity on me. The news spreads through the cathedral like a chill wind. No one dares go near the tomb. No one wants to believe the impossible. But the voice continues through the night, faint and broken. When word reaches the Empress, she does not weep. She does not turn back. She orders silence. Let the dead remain buried. 3 nights pass. The knocking slows, then stops. Some say it was madness. Others, guilt. Yet even centuries later, people still whisper that the Emperor did not die when the marble closed. He died afterward, in the dark, forgotten, alone. Before the legend, there was a man. His name was Zeno. Born among the rugged hills of Isauria, far from the polished streets of Constantinople, he grew up with dust on his hands and steel in his spirit. To the city's aristocrats, he was a barbarian, a soldier with rough manners and a strange accent. But ambition burned quietly behind his eyes. Through wars and loyalty, he rose, climbing from a backcountry fighter to a general under Emperor Leo I. Then fate intervened. Zeno married the emperor's daughter, Ariadne, binding his humble bloodline to the throne itself. In one stroke, the mountain soldier became royalty. But the court never forgot where he came from. They mocked him behind jeweled fans, whispered about his lineage, called him an impostor wearing a crown. Zeno learned to fight not only on the battlefield, but in marble halls filled with venomous smiles. His rule began under clouds of rebellion, deceit, and faithless allies. The empire groaned beneath the weight of ambition and betrayal. Zeno's throne shook not from enemies at the gates, but from daggers drawn in his own palace. Rebellions erupted like wildfires. Bishops schemed in the shadows. The noble elite conspired to replace him with someone, anyone of purer blood. But Zeno was no fool. He learned to rule as he once fought, with endurance and cunning. He bought loyalty where he could not earn it. He bribed generals, silenced priests, and played rival factions against each other, until exhaustion replaced hatred. Even the fearsome Ostrogoths, whom others dreaded, he persuaded to march toward Italy instead of Constantinople. For 17 turbulent years, he held the empire together with grit and deception. But power demands a price. His marriage to Ariadne, once a union of ambition, rotted under the strain. She despised his drinking, his temper, and the way he favored men from his homeland. Love faded into strategy. Each began to watch the other not as a partner, but as a threat. And in that quiet, poisonous distance, the seeds of a darker tale began to grow. It was Easter week in the spring of 491. The city shimmered in celebration, unaware that its emperor was about to vanish into legend. During a ceremony inside the grand cathedral, Zeno suddenly staggered. His face drained of color. He clutched his chest, gasped once, and collapsed to the marble floor. Panic rippled through the crowd. Physicians were summoned at once. They pressed their hands to his skin, felt no pulse, and whispered the words everyone feared. The emperor is dead. But in an age without real medicine, death was more assumption than certainty. No stethoscopes, no machines, just silence and guesswork. And sometimes silence lies. Ariadne, calm but unreadable, ordered the funeral rites to proceed swiftly. Zeno's body was washed, dressed in royal robes, and laid in a massive purple sarcophagus of marble and stone. Craftsmen sealed the lid with molten lead, locking the emperor away from the world forever. Or so they thought. Outside, the bells tolled. Priests prayed. The people wept. Inside the tomb, legend claims, the emperor's eyes opened. The nightmare had begun. That night, the cathedral guards stood watch by flickering torchlight. The scent of incense drifted through the air. Then faintly, one of them heard it. A soft, rhythmic tapping from beneath the stone floor. At first he thought it was imagination. But the sound came again, clearer, desperate. The guards froze. A voice, hoarse and faint, seemed to rise from the sealed sarcophagus. "Have pity on me," one claimed to hear. They ran to report it, but when word reached Empress Ariadne, she dismissed it coldly. "The dead do not speak," she said. "Leave him to rest." The next night, the knocking grew louder. Some soldiers pleaded to open the tomb, but Ariadne forbade it. Fear, duty, and politics held them silent. For 3 days, the sound persisted. The scratching, the cries, the muffled gasps. Until, at last, there was nothing. Only stillness. Whether it truly happened or not, the legend endured. The emperor, buried alive, had begged for mercy from the woman who once loved him. And when his final breath faded into stone, an empire shifted. Ariadne remarried, power changed hands, and history buried the truth as tightly as that marble tomb. Even now, centuries later, the story lingers, a whisper from the grave. A reminder that in palaces of power, silence can be more terrifying than death itself.